What's going on, everybody? It's your boy 6ix9ine back with another edition of All the Smoke. I do want to apologize. I've been away for a minute. I am preparing myself for a move. Once I get moved, my videos will come a lot more random. This will be my very first political reaction. Um, and if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when the new video uploads, right? And don't hesitate to share, guys. We're trying to build and get ourselves going here. Um, the reason why I decided to do this video is because I was watching um, YouTube yesterday and I ran across this video with Anton, who is one of, from my understanding, this guy's huge as far as being a podcaster or an influencer, whatever you want to call it, um, who supports Trump. And in this video, he was on the streets of Detroit, where I am now, asking people who were they going to vote for, if they weren't voting, why they're not voting, et cetera, et cetera. Right. One of the individuals asked him who he was voting for, and he said Trump. So this video that I am about to react on, the comments are crazy. My thing is, you can support whoever you want to support. Everybody has their reasons on who they want to support. And to me, politics is a very selfish line of business because people want what they want. And then if they don't get it, they feel like they need to go somewhere else and get it. But one of the things that I don't like is misinformation. So he's out asking these questions. And one of the questions he asked was, do you feel like you were doing better during Trump's administration? Or do you feel like you were doing better now? And that is a tricky question. The reason why that is a tricky question is because a lot of times when things are approved and passed in Congress or executive actions by the president, it takes time for those things to take effect. So if you think about it, he said that he was doing really well during Trump's administration. Now, from my understanding, this Anton dude got a lot of money. He's doing well with what he does. Not mad at that. That's what this country is. This country is about going to get what you can get. So that tax cut that Trump did for the rich, of course he was doing well. But the rest of the economy wasn't necessarily doing well because once that tax cut was passed, inflation started to go up. Now, inflation is a lot of things contribute to inflation, but that tax cut was not paid for. And to this day, it is not paid for. A little bit after, and the pandemic didn't help either. So, a little bit after the pandemic, inflation just started skyrocketing. It eventually got up to about 9.1%. Look it up. Just don't go by what I'm saying. Look it up in 2022. The current inflation rate is down to 2.53%. That was a statistic that I looked up as of August, the end of August 2024. So everybody out here screaming about inflation because they're listening to these news programs or people on Facebook that all they say is, well, because inflation is so high. Inflation was at 9% at one point. This administration got it down to 2.5. And yes, at one point, inflation was at 1.5% under Trump. I'll give him that. But you can't keep screaming inflation when inflation is down. It's not inflation. It's these corporations keeping the prices high because they're making record profit. Just look it up. It's that easy. This is why Kamala Harris is talking about going after these companies that are continuing to keeping their prices high. But you'll hear on the news, inflation, these people who have political agendas talking about inflation is sky high. No, it's down to 2.53%. So stop it. So this particular video, they're talking about the relief that are giving to people, who are victims of Hurricane Helene. Again, I don't care who you support, but you have to be accurate in your information. This dude here, this Anton dude, has a lot of reach. And if you go through this and you read the comments, and I'm going to post the original link to this video, and you read these comments, you just hear and see so much different information. I'm going to debunk this right in front of your eyes. Let's get into the video.
I would rather vote for a man who is convicted on 34 felony counts, but who is willing to put America first, than to cast a vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. These people are showing us exactly who matters to them. They are showing us every single day who they care about. They have $750 in aid that they are willing to give out to American citizens who have literally lost everything.
She's already wrong. Already wrong. Back during Hurricane Maria, which we all remember in 2012, when Puerto Rico got hit really hard and some other people, FEMA gave out $500 immediately to everyone. That's for immediate assistance to buy toilet paper, baby formula, things that you need immediately. They did the exact same thing during the Trump administration. But what they're not talking about as we continue this video is how Trump kept $20 billion from Puerto Rico. He treated Puerto Rico, and when Houston got hit, totally different. I'm going to talk about that. Let's keep going.
People's towns, everything have been completely wiped out. They get $750. But when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to funding other countries, when it comes to rolling out the red carpet and letting millions and millions and millions of illegals come in, you have money for that.
Okay. See, she hasn't done her research. First of all, if you know anything about history, let's go back to World War II when the United States set back. They helped England with some equipment, etc., but they set back and let Hitler just do what he wanted to do. Remember that? Now you got Putin and Russia trying to reestablish what Russia was because of the United Nations countries that are surrounding him. So if you don't think he already took a piece of Ukraine because nobody did anything, he waits a while and then he does it again. And if you think that he will stop after he takes Ukraine, you're sadly mistaken. So should we be supporting Ukraine? Yes. But to just come out here and say, oh, they got all this money for all this other stuff without talking about the dynamics of it is misinformation. Money for migrants. Whole separate fund. Money for migrants does not come out of FEMA. Stop it. It does not come for FEMA. The other misinformation that's out here is that FEMA is out of money. I'm going to disprove that too. Let's keep going. Just ridiculous. And he just shaking his head. Yeah, I agree. Like a
You
dummy.
have money to put illegals up in hotel rooms. You have money to send our tax dollars to other countries who's doing God knows what with it. But when we have American citizens here, when they are suffering and who have literally lost everything, our government is MIA. See, this is why I like to vote for facts over feelings instead of looking at how nice a person pretends.
What facts? She hasn't spit not one fact. What fact has this woman spit? Every Republican governor of all of these states that have been hit has been doing nothing but praising the government. Look up the video clips. I'm not going to show it here because it'll extend this video because I'm going to talk a lot through this. What facts have you spit, woman? None. Not one fact. You just ranting because you're upset and you don't have any facts backing it up. Let's keep going. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Anybody can put out a good image. Anybody can make themselves look good. But when it comes down to it, look at what they're doing with the money. Look at who is getting the money. And every registered voter should pay attention to this. Pay attention to how this government is spending your tax dollars. When you go to the poll, think about this.
And she's absolutely right.
She is not right.
Because nobody cares about the vibes. You know what we got with Obama? We got great hope. And it's funny because I did a reaction video yesterday to Lil Scrappy. A lot of people may not.
Now, remember what I said, guys. Politics is selfish. He's not going to talk of any facts at all. What the hell? Lil Scrappy.
Familiar with Scrappy. But Scrappy is, in my opinion, the typical black voter and a typical black rapper. And he was on Real Life Street Stars, which is a platform that I've done an interview on. Shout out to them. Them boys, they're pretty cool. Down there in Dallas. What up, though? And he said, listen, I don't care who she is or what she is or whatever. I'm voting for her because she black. Now,
I'm going to stop it there. I ain't listened to what he said. I only listened to what she said. Don't vote for nobody just because they're black. You vote for the best individual that's going to be the best for you or the best for the country. My first time ever voting is when Obama came in. I was actually going to vote for Clinton because I thought she would be the best for the country, not necessarily just for myself. This dude got an agenda for himself. He makes good money. He knows that Republicans are going to continue to make the rich richer. So this little calm to me, I think it's BS. I'm seeing right through it. It's BS, but let's keep going.
I'm still questioning whether or not she's black. But luckily for me, I've never leaned into identity politics. It's just the thing that I held everybody else accountable for because they always voted for somebody just based off of their color.
So he's still questioning that she's black and her father is Jamaican. She is biracial. Her father is black Jamaican. This is the type of BS. We got too many people. They got too much reach with too many people spreading this garbage.
I don't care about that. I care about the person that's best for the job. I care about policy. I care about logic. I care about reasoning. I care about whether or not we can refer back to your record, which we can for both candidates.
What logic does Donald Trump have? See, he's talking smoothly, but what logic does Donald Trump have? What reasoning does Donald Trump have? He goes after if you don't like him and do what he wants, he's going to go after you. He's revengeful, he's a narcissist, all the things that we've heard that I'm not going to go into because I'm not trying to convince anybody that he's that. His supporters know who he is, his non-supporters know who he is.
And we can go based off of the vice presidential debate to determine whether or not this group of people should be in office, right? Because even when it comes to the vice president, we never thought that it was important to use that to help determine whether or not somebody would be in office, but it is.
So he just mentioned vice president who doesn't, it's not Vice President Harris. It's Biden's administration. It is not Harris's administration. This is Biden's administration. So why is she going off on Harris? Anybody who took a civics class knows that the vice president is being delegated things to do from the president. They are there to support the president. And then they're misinformed about the money. $750 is the money that is given immediately, just like the 500 that was given when Maria hit. There is money in FEMA apply. What's dangerous about this is you're telling people you're only getting $750, and then you got other people out here saying that FEMA is broke, and that will probably cause some people not to apply for help. So I'm telling anybody who's watching this video, go apply for help. Don't listen to these knuckleheads out here telling you different.
Is because now we realize that Kamala Harris influences a lot of what happens in our culture by her being a vice president, casting tide breaking votes, was responsible for a lot of things, including being the border czar, and couldn't get much done in favor of the American people.
Another piece of misinformation. He was not the border czar. For this dude to have so much reach and be doing so well, the lack of information is astounding. He doesn't care because his followers are going to look at his videos. He's going to make revenue from his videos and he's going to continue to make his money. He doesn't care. He was never the border czar. She was in charge of going to these countries that these migrants were coming from to try to find the root cause of why these people are leaving their country. She was never the border czar. Stop with the lie. Just absolutely ridiculous. And it is absolutely disrespectful because of the lies and this misinformation that is going out. She was never the border czar.
People. Then we fast forward today, right? And those same black voters, like Scrappy, will then say again, I'm voting because I'm black or they black or all of this stuff, regardless of how much the American people are suffering. And so, first of all, let's just
The American people are suffering. There always, the way this system is set up, there's always going to be some people that are going to suffer in this system. Whether it's Democrats in office, whether it's Republicans in office, there are always some people that are going to be left behind. That is the way that capitalism is set up. It just is. The best time in this country in my lifetime that I remember is when Clinton was in office. The country had a surplus. There was no national debt. Guess who ruined that when they took over? George W. Bush. If you do the research, you will see that the country does better under Democratic when it's ran by a Democrat. Just do the research. Just look it up. I'm going to stop him there. I'm not going to go through his whole thing because I wanted to debunk a lot of um, what this girl was saying. So let me reshare this screen. PolitiFact. All right. Vice President Kamala Harris comments in Augusta, Georgia, show the Biden administration offering Hurricane Helene victims only $750 in relief. Excuse me. A week after Hurricane Helene wrought destruction to multiple southeastern U.S. states, people are confronting the immense cost of rebuilding their homes and recovering their losses. And the federal relief is, I'm going to skip some stuff. And the federal relief assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folk who needs immediate needs being met. She was on the ground 2 days after President Trump's visit to offer those who lost everything $750. All right. That is for immediate needs. Same thing they did for Hurricane Maria. Yes, FEMA provided one-time $500 payments per household to some survivors of Hurricane Maria as part of its critical needs assistance program. That's immediate money to help get milk and food and whatever else they may need immediately, not just $750 and that's it. Over 150 million was distributed to individuals for housing assistance. 500 million provided, FEMA provided $500 million. All right, so let's go back. So let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back here again. This was Hurricane Maria. Well, Donald Trump held back $20 billion. $20 billion to Puerto Rico. Under Trump, Congress had approved a total of $20 billion in HUD funds for Puerto Rico post-hurricane reconstruction. But the agency stalled the release of the aid in 2019 and imposed additional restrictions and requirements last year on how Puerto Rico could gain access to the funds. This is when Trump was on TV screaming about the corruption and financial mismanagement concerns in Puerto Rico, which are legitimate. Not going to take that from him, but these people needed help. This is when he went to Puerto Rico and tossed the paper towels like he was playing basketball. Come on. The latest probe comes 2 days after President Joe Biden's administration removed Trump-era restrictions unique to Puerto Rico, limiting its ability to access recovery funds through HUD. The agency also unlocked access to $8.2 billion. This is during the Biden administration. They're still unlocking money that he held back. The federal government has allocated nearly $69 billion to help the island recover from Maria as well as other disasters. Puerto Rico has received $19 billion. That was from Trump. So I had another article up, but I think I deleted it by mistake. So as of October, but this is going back to Helene. Helena, I don't know if it's Helena or Helene. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. As of October 4th, FEMA said the Biden administration provided more than 45 million in flexible upfront funding to Hurricane Helene survivors. The agency said it has provided more than 11.5 million meals, 12.6 million liters of water, 150 generators, and 400,000 tarps to the affected area. That's as of October 4th. The White House said on October 2nd fact sheet that through the Serious Needs Assistance Program, FEMA has paid out more than 1 million to more than 1,400 North Carolina households within 24 hours. It outlined the other actions the Biden administration has taken. Deployed 1,000 active duty soldiers for delivery of food, water, and other commodities. What people need to understand, when these disasters hit, they have to look over the area and come up with some type of plan of how to get in. So, no, it's not always going to be immediate. Declaring public health emergencies for South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina to better accommodate Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries, emergency health needs, providing 50 Starlink satellite systems and 65 phones to help with communications. Starting 14-day period of emergency regulatory relief, allowing vehicles more maximum drive time for supply delivery. Imposing a 90-day moratorium on foreclosures or on certain mortgages. Approving major disaster declaration for Georgia and Virginia, in addition to Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina, allowing residents in 41 Georgia counties and 6 counties to apply for FEMA assistance. So these people out here saying you're only getting $750, and then there's other reports of misinformation of people saying you FEMA is broke. Some of these people may not apply for help listening to this misinformation. First of all, who funds FEMA? Is it the president or is it Congress? It's Congress. So that's why Biden asks Congress before they go on their recess to make sure that they fund FEMA. Look it up. Re-rate the claim that Harris said that Biden administration is providing only $750 to Hurricane Helene victims. False. It's false. False, 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 false. Just stop it. I'm hoping that this misinformation is not going to influence somebody not to apply for help. I know I'm not as big as this Anton guy. I'm just getting started, but apply if you're in those areas, apply for help, apply for FEMA. Stop listening to this misinformation. You're not only getting just 750. The 750 was for immediate needs, which was $250 more than the Trump administration gave out during Hurricane Maria. So just stop. Just stop with the misinformation. And for someone to have that much reach with people and that much influence like Anton has and not give accurate data is an injustice. It's an injustice. I just showed you factual information of how Trump reacted there's one more thing I want to show. Let me go back. Let me go back. There's one more thing. This is an article on how Trump favored Texas over Puerto Rico. So, within 6 days of Hurricane Harvey, U.S. Northern Command had deployed 73 helicopters over Houston, which are critical for saving victims and delivering emergency supplies. It took at least 3 weeks after Maria before it had more than 70 helicopters flying over Puerto Rico. 6 days and 3 weeks. Big difference. During the first 9 days of Harvey, FEMA provided 5.1 million meals, 4.5 million liters of water, and over 20,000 tarps to Houston. But in the same period, it delivered just 1.6 million meals, 2.8 liters of water, and roughly 5,000 tarps to Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's Trump's so-called America first. Puerto Rico is part of America. And some of these people that Anton interviewed, you heard the woman on the screen talking about, I would rather vote for a president that's going to put America first. Well, why did he treat Puerto Rico differently than he treated Houston? 9 days after Harvey, the federal government had 30,000 personnel in the Houston region compared to 10,000 at the same point after Maria. It took just 10 days for FEMA to approve permanent disaster work for Texas compared to 43 days for Puerto Rico. 78 days after each hurricane, FEMA had approved 39% of federal applications for relief from victims of Harvey versus 28% for Maria. I'm sorry about all the ads, guys, but I can't get rid of those. Look how much differently he treated Texas and then treated Puerto Rico. It's all right there. Just look it up. So the misinformation needs to stop. You need to do your own research. Just don't listen to what you hear on the news. I am asking you, just don't listen to me. Look it up. That's why I wanted to show evidence of it being looked up. I know those are just one sources, but there's many sources where that same information is there. So if you're someone with a lot of reach, who has a lot of influence, a lot of people following you, be factual. Don't give partial information. And I'm telling you, this dude he has money, and Trump is better for him because he has money. He's rich. Why you think he want Trump in president? He's willing to put someone like him that hates black people, that hates Puerto Ricans, that hates any other race, hates Mexicans. That's a misogynist. That is showing you that he has authoritarian tendencies. They're willing to put him in office because it's going to work for them. Go back and read how Hitler came into power. Exact same playbook. The country wasn't doing well. People struggling. He comes in, he promises all these things and takes over. Just read about it. I can go on, folks, but I'm going to shorten this. I just had to do this video. I'll be back in a few weeks with more reactions. But This Anton dude needs to stop. He needs to stop and be more factual. He talking about, I look at this, and that. No, you're not. You didn't do well off of Trump's economy. Maybe his tax break, you did well off of Obama's economy. And here are Democrats again fixing what Republicans have messed up. And if another Republican gets back in office, it's going to go back to the same BS. They are hooked on trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics does not work. As you can see, when Trump was in office, most of these companies are making record profits, laying off people, buying back their stock. That money's not trickling down. It's not trickling down. Again, if you like the video, please like it. Please subscribe. We got more videos coming, especially once I get my move completed. But Anton need to stop with that BS. And when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna get on the streets of Detroit, and I'm not gonna ask these simple little questions without any facts behind them. It's your boy 6ix9ine with all the smoke. You guys take care. I'm out.